So we're here to solve this Arrow Sudoku by Joseph Howard. One of the things I always do when starting a puzzle is just look for digits I see a lot of, and there are a lot of 4s, so an obvious place to begin in this puzzle is to place this 4, which finishes that sum. Down here we've got sort of some 4 placements like this we can do. This box now has a lot in it. We know that there's only one remaining way to get a sum of 7, which is 1 and 6. The 2 and a 5 can't go in because the 2 is already placed here. We'll see that 9 is in one of these 2 cells. 9 is a digit that's always going to need to avoid arrows. It can be in the circles, but it can't be in the arrows. And so as we look in this space, which needs a 9, 9 can't be here, 9 can't be on an arrow, so 9 is here, and that also finishes a 9 up top in the space, again, because 9s can't be in arrows, and 9 is in one of those cells. And looking over here, we can't say too much more yet. In terms of the next set of places to go, we can think a little bit about how digits will be constrained in these different sums, particularly how to make a large sum. 2 and 4 already taken here means that this will be 1, 3, and 5 in some order. The remaining digits 6, 7, 8 are going to be spread around this row. The 3 coming into the space may limit some of the other digits. Let's actually look up here. The 4 being here does mean that the digit 1 has to be part of this column, and it can't be in this cell, so the 1 has to be here. This can be 2, 6, or 3, 5. We don't know enough about it, but it's going to have some limitations down here. Say it's the 2, 6, then 1, 2, 6, and 3 and 4 are all taken, and so the smallest digit that either of these cells can be is a 5, and 5 plus a digit like 6 or 7 is going to be well larger than this. And so we need to place a tiny number down here, a 2, which means that this now has to be actually the 5, 3 sum we talked about. The smallest digit left that this can be is a 6, which will complete a sum if an 8 is in that cell. The 7 comes to this spot. And we've got those steps. I'm going to look now in this space just to figure out if there's something I can do about the sum. In part, I'm going to be thinking about the digits in these cells, and seeing that a 3 is here means that the 5 can't be in either of these cells. If a 5 were here or here, a 3 to complete the sum would be up above. So this is where the 5 goes. 1 and 7 are in these cells, which means 1 and 7 are also in these cells. Get a 4, completes the sum with a 5. 5 is here. We now have 1, 3 in these cells. The 2 remaining will be 6 and 8. The 8 is up above, so this is 6, this is 8. There is a 5 over here. There's an 8 in that column. Up top, the 6 is over here, and we can do a similar thing to think about the sums, where we said that this 3 wouldn't let a 5 in those cells. This 5 means that there can't be a 4 in these 2 cells, because 4 would put a 5 down below. So I see this is a 4, and I see I have a 2, 7, 2, 7 pair that then also forms a 2, 7, 2, 7. The 7s actually sort of are fully accounted for in the space. So things like a 7 going in one of those cells is a kind of deduction you can make right at this stage. I see 6 and 6 being forced out. We can think a little bit about what these digits are going to be. It's not 3, 6, and 4, 5. It could be 2, 7. That would be this 7 and that 2. So a 2 can be here. It could be 1, 8. The 1 isn't here. The 1 is there. So in some stage, this cell is a 2 or 8. Don't know too much more than that actually at this moment. Trying to see what else is useful. We can do a little bit around the 4s. Actually, the 4 here forces this 4 and that 4. actually, once we place this, we can do the last of the 5s, and it actually looked like when I first marked this, that was also forced. 5 over here. Looking again across these digits for next kinds of placements, and particularly up here, like what numbers can go in the space. It's not 4 and 3. The 2s are already accounted for over here, so it's not 2 and 5. This set has to be 1 and 6. It actually does this. This is going to force a whole lot of digits very quickly. This 7 is going to force this 7 2. Force this 7 2. We're left with just a few 7s that can be placed in the grid. Here are those. Get a 9 in one of these cells. This column is going to be pretty limited. Looks like it takes the 2. If that's the 2, then the 2 is up here. This is 1, 3, 8, and the 1 here makes it like this. The 3 up is up above. So the 8 is over in these cells. The 1 is in these cells. That means that this is a naked single, just a 6. 2, 8, and 9 is what's left in this column. The 9 has to go into this cell. 9 forces left, right, forces a 9 in the space. 5 and 2 left in this column. The 5 has to be here. The 2 has to be here. Come over to where 2 is in one of these cells. Looking, I guess, back in the space, 3, 5, and 8. I don't have anything with those. I actually see that this 1, 3 completes out, puts a 3 over here, 1 up here. We still need to do a little bit to force this sum. It should just be Sudoku steps from here. So anything we could do around the 6s would be helpful. Stuff around the 3s looks like it could be helpful. The 3. Got 5, 8. This is a 5. 2 and 8. 2's up top. 8 and 6. 6 is in this column. You already really knew that. This is the only spot for a 1 left in this box. We have 3, 6, 8, 9. 6 has to be over here. That's going to force this finally. Puts a 3 down here. 8 up here means 8 here, means 8 here. 8, 9, 6, 6, 2, 2, 8. This 9 forces a 9 and a 5 and a 5 and a 3. The 5 forces this down. We still have to do this resolution. The 7 and the 1 forces the last sum of 1 and 8. Push this, puts this, puts this. And so the end of that puzzle was a little tricky to just get. I think it was this box that was first really solved by placing the last one and then this 3. But worked through the puzzle. The really fun constraints that Joseph had put in the puzzle included these 1, 7 and these 2, 7 pairs, which came from the fact how a 3 limits the presence of a 5 in the space, and a 5 limits the presence of a 4 in the space. So when you place the 4, 6 pair and the 4, 5 pair, you're left with these paired sums, which do some eliminations in the columns, and also when you interact and see that this is a 1, 6 and a 1, 6, you get pretty quick progress there. So different kind of feel for narrow Sudoku. Again, a good balance between the summation clues and then just some hard Sudoku logic steps at the end. Hope you learned a little bit about this puzzle and also how to solve Arrow Sudoku in general, and we'll see you again soon.